Well, it's no secret that I think Mario Badescu do some of the worst skincare products of all time. Some of the worst products to ever grace our faces. Their scented colored waters, their drying spot treatment straight out of the 90s, and their packaging that makes you feel like you're using professional only cleaning products. But their iconic flavored waters aren't the only thing that they're known for. They're also known for sneaking highly irritating skincare ingredients into your skincare products without telling you. Shh. Before we get into it, I want to give a shout out to Dr. Julian Sass, who really helped me work out a lot of the more mathematical ingredient side of things when it comes to this video. So please do go follow him on all his socials. He's a cosmetic scientist, product developer, and brand consultant who I think has one of the biggest sunscreen databases in the whole world. So please do go check him out. Before we get into it, everything in today's video is for entertainment purposes only, and all information is alleged. And for legal reasons, is just for fun. It's just for fun. Let's first of all talk about Mario Badescu and the history of the brand. Mario Badescu was founded in 1967 by Mario Badescu. He was actually a super famous esthetician amongst celebrities, based in New York. He worked out of his salon, and he was famous for providing very gentle, more leaning on the side of natural facial treatments that were actually pretty effective, and that's how he rose in popularity. Badescu, who was born in Romania, actually started creating skincare products in his own kitchen, very Pinterest, and his products and his brands to this day still focus on that kind of natural, made by me, botanical ingredient side of the skincare world. The Mario Badescu website actually calls this old world skincare techniques, which is cute for the 1960s, not for now. And to be fair, the brand has been pretty popular ever since. Badescu actually passed in 1983, and the brand was taken over by Maurice Cabasso. I've never seen that name before, who is still the brand owner to this day, along with Mario Badescu's 3 grandchildren. Their website is interesting. They say times change, trends change, but one thing never does: the importance of taking good care of your skin. It's interesting they talk about trends. I don't think they often keep up with skincare trends. I feel like their most infamous products have been the same for years and years and years. They've had a few new releases which have been on the better side, I'm not gonna lie. They go on to say our products aren't thought up in a lab. They're made and mixed by us from real life experience. What does that mean? Why isn't skincare being made in a lab? It better be made in a lab. It's not still made in your kitchen, I hope. Now, despite what Mario Badescu preached on their website about their products being all natural, gentle, simply botanicals, their products weren't as simple and natural as they claimed to be, resulting in some damaged skin, hundreds of thousands of angry customers, and a lawsuit. It's November the 15th, 2012. It was a pretty shitty year, to be honest with you. BT admitted guilt over the Deepwater Horizon oil spill and pay out $4.5 billion for their mistake. And it is the day Wang Qiu purchased Mario Badescu's healing cream at an unnamed retail beauty store in California. Mario Badescu's healing cream really quickly became a cult favorite upon its release, especially those with troubled skin types. We're talking eczema, psoriasis, acne, and according to a lot of reviews, those with eczema in particular found this product very useful at calming and soothing their skin, taking away redness. Mario Badescu said that their oil-free healing cream calms upon application. An oil-free, sulfur-based healing cream helps accelerate the healing process of red, irritated acne skin, protects delicate skin whilst preventing scarring. And they suggested that you used it in place of a moisturizer twice a day, every single day. Remember that one. And like all Mario Badescu products, it had a pretty simple ingredient list. Not that that's a good thing, but that's the thing with natural skincare brands, right? They're always like, oh, we've only got 5 ingredients, including a balsam Peru, polyglycerol methacrylate, and propylene glycol, herbal extract, and bismuth sabgalate. These are mainly antimicrobial, healing, soothing ingredients, but unbeknownst to Wang Qiu and the vast amount of customers who purchased their healing cream and loved this product, they left a couple of very important ingredients out of the ingredients list. Those ingredients being steroids. Yes, back in 2012, the Korean Herald reported that the Korean FDA had tested 2 of Mario Badescu's most popular products, the healing cream and their control cream, and found the 2 unlabeled steroid ingredients. They were hydrocortisone and triamcinolone acetonnoide. The KFDA immediately warned consumers to stop using the products, barring the sale of these products as well as recalling a ton of products. The US then followed suit. When I first heard the stories, I was like, why steroids? Is that not what people take in the gym and then their skin goes all red and they get angry all the time? I was a little bit confused what steroids were, but they really can play a key part in helping people with those more severe skin conditions. Hydrocortisone is probably the most recognized ingredient out of the two. According to the NHS UK website, hydrocortisone is a steroid medicine. It works by calming down your body's immune response to reduce pain, itching, and swelling. And you often find this in facial creams, body creams, shampoos, scalp treatments, injections, and tablets. Now, here in the UK, you can find hydrocortisone products in pharmacies. So, we have to queue up, you have to speak to the person, the pharmacist, and they kind of recommend a product. Or you know what one you're going for, you go and ask for it, and they're like, have you used this before? Do you know how to use it? You find it in creams like Dactocort cream, which I've used before because I had a sweat rash when I used to wear skinny jeans all the time. It's also for athlete's foot. You can find it in Skin Calm Bite, which is a sting relief cream. And of course, most notably, hemorrhoid creams. But you can't just pop into a shop and pick it off the shelf. Whereas in the US, CeraVe actually sell a hydrocortisone cream with 1% hydrocortisone, which is the highest percentage you go up to before prescription. Then obviously you get higher percentages with a prescription from your doctor. The overall general consensus of hydrocortisone in topical ointments is that it is safe. However, ideally under supervision from your doctor, because long-term use of hydrocortisone applied topically can potentially have some long-term negative side effects with consistent and prolonged use. So all the products that you do see hydrocortisone in usually run about use for 2 weeks, use for 4 weeks. You have a very particular small amount of product to use. And depending on the condition, you usually do stop using it once your treatment has run out, unless instructed otherwise from a doctor. Don't use too little, don't use too much, use whatever you are directed to use. So having these topical steroids in a product which suggests you can use it daily, twice a day, may lead to other skin conditions later down the line, worsening of the conditions that you used it for in the first place. Nowhere in any of the articles or the original lawsuit could I find the exact percentage found of steroids in these products. However, after digging around and paying a fee, I found some related materials which actually did write how much of the steroids were found in the products. So they found 2,610 UGG of hydrocortisone and 1,899 UGG of Triamcinolone acetonnoide. So that works out to 0.26% of hydrocortisone and 0.19% of the triamcinolone. Now, of course, that's lower than the 1% that you're going to get over the counter or on the shelves, but you are still using a product with these steroids in daily, twice a day without knowing for a prolonged period of time. And that is worrying when it comes to triamcinolone, especially because that is a prescription-only ingredient. It's a prescription-only steroid. It doesn't belong in your topical skincare products. Side effects of these steroids when used as instructed are rare to non-existent, but with prolonged use can lead to skin thinning, hyperpigmentation, dermatitis, acne, infections, broken veins, skin atrophy, rashes, blisters, things you just don't want when you're trying to repair your skin. Let's take a deeper look at the lawsuit. Sorry, I will be consulting my notes a lot because there is a lot. So the lawsuit, which was filed on February the 15th of 2013, was filed on behalf of Wang Q Choi and J.K. Lee, both from California, and on behalf of whoever who had purchased these products in California, whether that be online from the Mario Badescu salon, with retailers like Ulta and Nordstrom actually being named in the lawsuit. And whilst the lawsuit very, very briefly mentions injuries, they were actually just claiming economic damages, which means they wanted a refund, monetary damages, including the products itself and the money back for the actual legal fees. So the people in the lawsuit didn't actually have any issues. So either they just completely forgot to mention that in the lawsuit, or there were no negative repercussions from using this product. Again, they just saw what the KFDA released and thought, crap, I own that, we've been misled. Let's do a lawsuit, which is still fair enough. But according to the lawyer's website, who presented the plaintiffs in this case, in February of 2014, a Mario Badescu skin cream victim created a Facebook page to share her own story and allow others to share theirs. In particular, their experience with the healing cream and the control cream. Now, the woman who created the Facebook page claims she used Mario Badescu's control cream for 6 years. However, after purchasing a new bottle of the skin cream in 2013, her skin began erupting, she says. She noticed that the new cream had a different texture and smell and concluded that her face was not reacting to the new product, but rather it was reacting to the sudden withdrawal of steroids contained in the control cream. Healing cream users on the Facebook page, however, reported very similar experiences on a product review website called Makeup Alley, which we know. One reviewer claimed that after the healing cream was recalled, she began to suffer from a massive steroid withdrawal symptom, including itchy, blotchy, even rash and patch-like symptoms and hives, with pretty much everyone claiming that they were suffering from topical steroid withdrawals. Now, so once the case had been closed, Mario Badescu removed the steroids. The timeline's a little bit funny here. So then everybody that had been using these products was suddenly suffering from topical steroid withdrawal because they didn't know there were steroids in their creams. Now, topical steroid withdrawal is interesting because it's not massively well researched, and depending on who you ask when it comes to doctors and professionals, some believe it's a very real thing that deserves more attention and more research, whilst others believe that it's not really a thing. But those that believe it believe that various reactions to long-term topical use of prescription steroid treatments can include burning, stinging, or painful skin, skin sensitivity to sunlight, redness, a rash on the arms, also known as a red sleeve, itching, peeling, cracking, or flaking is kind of the withdrawal symptom that we see a lot of, pus-filled bumps, nodules under the skin, and thickened, wrinkled skin, often referred to as elephant wrinkles. But none of this was discussed in the lawsuit whatsoever, actually. It's very similar to what we see in a lot of cosmetic lawsuits where they are mainly suing for false advertising, which is still fair, you know? So what did the brand have to say about this? What did Mario Badescu have to say to save their brand, to apologize for sneaking steroids into their skincare? Nothing. They said absolutely nothing. They're just like, I don't know. You're a huge brand. You've been very popular for years and years and years. You sneak steroids into your skincare and don't say anything. And then when you get found out, you still don't say anything? Was this a legal move? Were their lawyers like, don't say anything, otherwise you're admitting fault? I don't know. I don't know how that works. Still a dick move though. So who won? We're not at the end yet. There's still more after this. In 2013, Mario Badescu did agree to settle. Now, according to topclassactions.com, Mario Badescu will send a $45 certificate to class members who submitted timely claims forms. The certificate is good for $45 off the purchase of any Mario Badescu product at www.mariobadescu.com. You know, when you say something, it sounds less and less like a word. Mario Badescu is becoming that, like Cinderella. Or $45 off any Mario Badescu New York spa. So any customers who bought either of the creams dating back as far as February the 15th of 2009 are entitled to receive one certificate for the healing cream and one for a control cream, for a total of 2 certificates. And a total of 11,620 valid claims were filed, with the total value of claims being $895,365, with the whole engagement costing Mario Badescu $2,413,338.40. These, I hate when it's just a certificate. I hate when you can't just give them money, because why the fuck would anybody want to repurchase products from a brand that is going through a legal case because they snuck ingredients into their skincare product? It's not like other cosmetic lawsuits that we've seen where, you know, they made bold claims that didn't match what happened, or somebody had a reaction because vitamin C wasn't labeled big enough on the packaging, which is still all bad things. They snuck stuff into their products. So why would anybody want to go back? Why would anybody want to go to their spa and get treatment? Now, usually this is where the video would end, but a lot of people were not happy with this outcome. A lot of people felt underrepresented in this lawsuit. As I mentioned, this lawsuit was primarily for economic damages, but there were real people who were not represented from this lawsuit who had suffered injuries from this cream. And they were like, this lawsuit is shit. We aren't happy with the outcome because no one was representing people who actually got damaged from this product in this lawsuit, which is true. It's fair enough. And they were like, this outcome isn't good enough. Like, why would any of us who actually suffered damages want to do business with Mario Badescu ever again? After the lawsuit, something called a remittiture came out, which is usually when they're decreasing the amount of money rewarded to the plaintiffs after an agreed settlement. This came out and I managed to download it. I purchased it and downloaded it to read through it. And it's very, very confusing. Very confusing. Oh, here we go. Sorry. A remittiture is a legal process used in personal injury lawsuits to adjust the amount of damages awarded by a jury. I believe remittiture means it's going down, and there's another word that means they're getting more. So you would think that there's going to be another big court case. These people are taking Mario Badescu back to court because of the injuries that they suffered. However, I was very confused by this. This may not be wholly accurate, but it looks as though a few of the people who wanted to claim those personal injuries were actually from New Jersey and couldn't claim in California. A few people who claimed personal injuries actually opted out in the end anyway, and the others, the court was like, no, a voucher's good enough for you. It's not funny. It's not funny. It's just, I don't know. Long story short, those who had alleged injuries from the creams, who thought that the lawsuit didn't fairly represent them, didn't get anything for their alleged injuries. They were told, a voucher's fine. What baffles me, no, it doesn't baffle me, I get it. But when I do videos talking about negative things brands have done, I'll get the odd comment like, well, what about this brand you talk about? What about this brand you talk about? Which I think is purposely fair. But for me personally, if a brand has willingly done something that could cause very physical, real life, life-changing harm to their customer and purposely hide that for as long as they thought they could have got away with it for, and not even a we'll do better next time apology, that trumps a lot of things for me. That's very different. I feel like Mario Badescu as a brand did this because they were assholes back in the day, I'm guessing, but also because they had this all-natural, botanical vibe that they want to give off, and steroids doesn't really match up with that. But they wanted their all-natural products to look just as effective as these prescription products that you can get. Why didn't they just make a prescription note, or why didn't they do like, this is our 1% hydrocortisone? I guess because it doesn't blend with the brand, right? Like, why use science to heal when you could use a leaf, is probably 100% what they were thinking, allegedly. Why use a nice basic hydrating toner when you could use all natural flavored colored water? It's actually not that bad, to be honest. Mario Badescu also seemed to be rising in popularity again, I think especially with the TikTok younger generation who I guess missed this whole debacle. And they have also released a newer range of skincare products, which they got in touch with me and asked, I can't remember if they wanted to gift me the products or if they wanted to work with me. And because of this court case and everything that came out, I was like, no, why would I want to do that? I don't know what I'm putting on my face. The products actually seem okay, and the ingredient list, if fully accurate, looks half decent, I must be honest. But is that enough to sway people who are fully aware of this story into giving them another chance? I don't really think so. For me, it's a definite no. Let me know if you use Mario Badescu products despite knowing of this story, and tell me why. No judgy, I just want to know. If you do love Mario Badescu, what's your favorite product as well? If you had experience with the control or healing cream, also let me know. If you want to share in the comments down below. You can watch some more When Beauty Turns Ugly here, some general light entertainment here, and I'll see you over there.